Hello friends, you are on the channel Quotes of Great Men. Enjoy watching. If you think along the lines of nature, then you think properly. In sleep, fantasy takes the form of dreams. But in waking life, too, we continue to dream beneath the threshold of consciousness, especially when under the influence of repressed or other unconscious complexes. During my medical education at the University of Ball, I found vivisection horrible, barbarous, and above all unnecessary. The Christian missionary may preach the gospel to the poor naked heathen, but the spiritual heathen who populate Europe have as yet heard nothing of Christianity. A woman who is unconscious of himself acts in a blind, instinctive way and is in addition fooled by all the illusions that arise when he sees everything that he is not conscious of in himself coming to meet him from outside as projections upon his neighbor. It is not for us to send out missionaries to foreign peoples. It is our task to build up our own Western culture. All neurotics seek the religious. His retreat into himself is not a final renunciation of the world, but a search for quietude, where alone it is possible for him to make his contribution to the life of the community. The answer to human life is not to be found within the limits of human life. To make what fate intends for me my own intention. The majority of my patients consisted not of believers, but of those who had lost their faith. As one grows older, one must try not to work oneself to death unnecessarily. At least that's how it is with me. I can scarcely keep pace and must watch out that the creative forces do not chase me around the universe in a wallop. People are never helped in their suffering by what they think for themselves, but only by revelation of a wisdom greater than their own. It is this which lifts them out of their distress. Consciousness can keep only a few images in full clarity at one time, and even this clarity fluctuates. The brain is viewed as an appendage of the genital glands. Science is the tool of the Western mind, and with it more doors can be opened than with bare hands. When religion stops talking about animals, it will be all downhill. Dream the dream onward. The Platonic world of ideas corresponds to thinking and sensation on the mystical level. One of the most difficult tasks men can perform, however much others may despise it, is the invention of good games. Because the European does not know his own unconscious, he does not understand the East and projects it into everything he fears and despises in himself. The gods have become our diseases. Insight that dawns slowly seems to me to have more lasting effects than a fitful idealism, which is unlikely to hold out for long. It is astounding that man, the instigator, inventor, and vehicle of all these developments, the originator of all judgments and decisions and the planner of the future, must make himself such a quantite negligible. It is a moral achievement on the part of the doctor who ought not to let himself be repelled by sickness and corruption. There are cases where psychoanalysis works worse than anything else. But who said that psychoanalysis was to be applied always and everywhere? The man of today, who resembles more or less the collective ideal, has made his heart into a den of murderers, as can easily be proved by the analysis of his unconscious, even though he himself is not in the least disturbed by it. The girl dreams she is dangerously ill. Suddenly birds come out of her skin and cover her completely. Swarms of gnats obscure the sun, the moon, and all the stars except one. That one star falls upon the dreamer. No concept is a carrier of life. Hitler is a shy and friendly man with artistic tastes and gifts. I had to make a confession of faith in stone. That was the beginning of the tower, the house I built for myself at Ballingen. Paul hardly ever allows the real Jesus of Nazareth to get a word in. Between the dreams of night and day there is not so great a difference. But India did not pass me by without a trace. It left tracks which lead me from one infinity to another infinity. In the final analysis, we count for something only because of the essential that we embody. If we do not embody that, life is wasted. The secret of artistic creation and the effectiveness of art is to be found in a return to the state of participation mystique, to that level of experience at which it is man who lives, and not the individual. Doesn't the world bring forth thinking in human heads with the same necessity that it brings forth blossoms on the plant? Madness is a special form of the spirit and clings to all teachings and philosophies, but even more to daily life, since life itself is full of craziness and at bottom utterly illogical. Man strives toward reason only so that he can make rules for himself. There are two types of men, those who hold your hand and those who fuck you. Thanks for watching. Check out these educational videos too.